They woke to a ceiling that did not belong to them, a ceiling patterned with age, light slanting through blinds that seemed to know the shape of a life the occupant could not remember. The first moments were always the same: confusion, a flash of panic, the body's odd familiarity with movement but not with origin, the mind searching through a fog like a detective turning over the same empty drawers. This is the anatomy of a locked room of memory. Amnesia as a chamber in which clues are arranged to mislead or to reveal, often both. Amnesia in fiction is a favorite of storytellers because it offers an immediate puzzle. But the reality is more complex and more human than plot devices allow. There are many kinds. Retrograde amnesia steals past memories, leaving identity hollowed out. Anterograde amnesia clamps down on the future, making new impressions evaporate as if the brain has a leaking pen. Transient global amnesia arrives like a fog over a single day. Psychological dissociative amnesia can hide memories behind a curtain of emotion, a protective partition erected by the mind itself. Each type creates a different locked room, and different keys are required to open it. The first key is context. In books and films, context is manipulated to heighten suspense. A photograph on a mantle, a name scrawled across a receipt, a scar that acts like a punctuation mark. These are narrative cues that an amnesiac character clings to. In life, context plays a subtler role. Familiar smells, the cadence of a loved one's voice, the way sunlight falls on a kitchen table can all prompt the brain to reconstruct a history. Neuroscience calls this pattern completion. The hippocampus takes fragmentary input and reassembles a coherent scene. Sometimes the reassembly is beautifully accurate. Sometimes it is an elegant fiction. This brings us to the second key: suggestion. Human memory is not a pristine recording. It is malleable and porous. One well-placed word, an insistently repeated story, can seed a false recollection. In the locked room of memory, suggestion is the trickster at the door, offering a comfortable narrative in exchange for the truth. The famous experiments by Elizabeth Loftus showed how easily memories can be altered with leading questions. A cyclist's recollection of a crash, a childhood birthday turned into a nightmare. These alterations are not merely cinematic twists. They are real risks when attempting to reconstruct a life. Then come the twists, the reveals that make the locked room scenario irresistible. Sometimes the reveal is external. Medical tests show damage to a specific brain region, or a hidden diary surfaces with a confession that reframes everything. Sometimes the reveal is internal. A sensory trigger floods the mind with a single image, and with it a cascade of memories returns. In other cases, the reveal is moral. A person recovers not only facts, but context, why certain memories were buried, what guilt or trauma lay beneath them. Dissociative amnesia's locked room can be a sanctuary. Unlocking it may mean facing unbearable truths. That twists the idea that uncovering memory can do harm as well as good, turns the genre's typical resolution on its head. Legal systems, therapists, and families all stand at the door of these rooms, each with different motives. Courts want an objective account. Therapists aim for healing, sometimes using guided recall or exposure to triggers. Their tools can be delicate, and their interventions carry the risk of planting as well as retrieving memory. Families search for reunion, often scaffolding a narrative that helps the lost person return, even if the return is incomplete. Finally, there is the question of identity. If memory is the furniture of the self, then what remains when the furniture is gone? Patients with dense retrograde amnesia may still walk, love, and perform skills they no longer remember learning. The locked room may be empty of autobiography but occupied by habit, emotion, and an impulse toward meaning. The twist, then, is that identity is not simply a dossier of memories. It is the ongoing act of relating to the world, a collection of small, persistent behaviors that endure even when the past is sealed. When the door finally opens, whether softly or with a crash, what emerges is never just plot resolution. It is the fragile, complicated truth that memory is both treasure and trickster, a keeper of joys and a censor of sorrows. The locked room teaches a deeper lesson. The past we seek to reclaim is not only facts and dates, but also the stories we tell ourselves. Sometimes the breakthrough is factual. More often, it is ethical learning when to fix a leak in the record and when to leave a wound to heal. In the end, the mystery of amnesia is not only about what is forgotten, it is about how we choose to remember.